This time I was introducing an area called Harborland in Kobe. Kobe's Harborland is a place where many tourists, especially people from the Kansai region, come to visit. I think it has the image of being a fashionable spot. Speaking only about commercial facilities, there are too many large commercial complexes, so people don't really move around and tourists just wander aimlessly, which makes it lack the power to attract crowds. That's the issue it faces, yes. It was neglected at times in the past. In this segment, we'll highlight the three main commercial facilities in Harborland: Umie, Harbor Center Promena Kobe, and Kobe Crystal Tower, the most prominent commercial complexes in the area. Harbor Center's operating company has changed several times due to business difficulties, resulting in the facility's name changing 4 times. Promena Kobe, an 18-story commercial building, faced poor business performance due to many vacant spaces and lack of tenants, leading the original operating company to sell the property. Despite a significant initial investment in the sea venture, poor business performance led to a change in the operating company, which remains the case today. The town opened in 1992 and it is still being operated by the original operating company. The commercial facilities ended up in a state of zero. The video showcased Harborland by presenting up-to-date footage of the location. On this channel, I will continue to create videos that everyone can enjoy, so please subscribe to the channel. Thank you. So I walked from Sanomiya, the busiest downtown area in Kobe, to American Park, which is next to the Harborland where I'll be filming this time. As a sightseeing route in Kobe, you can go down at Sanomiya and walk to the nearby shopping streets and department stores, Nankinmachi, which is in Chinatown. Now I'm here. There are places like Starbucks and a port tower under renovation. It's not like there are a lot of tourists going to places like American Park or Harborland, is it? So I think Harborland is often chosen as the last place to visit on a Kobe sightseeing trip. Harborland is a place that was redeveloped from a freight station and factory site, and it opened to the public in 1992. If you count backwards from the time it opened, it was actually planned in the previous century. It's quite an old area, isn't it? Actually, it's on the map. It's called Kalmani. There are also commercial facilities, but this is the street of Harborland. Some places have relocated since opening but remain operational. I won't introduce this video. Kobe's port area mainly consists of factories and convenience stores. It was mostly filled with port facilities. Now it's also open to the public for visits. There was an intention to create a place and turn it into a tourist spot, and that's why I'm here now. American Park was completed in 1987 and it opened to the public even before Harborland as a tourist spot in Kobe's waterfront area. American Park and Harborland are often considered to be in a single line, but American Park has hotels, the port tower, and the Maritime Museum among other attractions. On the other hand, Harborland is mainly made up of commercial facilities and is specialized for shopping. It's an area like that. Just as Yokohama Minato Mirai is in the east, Kobe Harborland is called the counterpart in the west. It's said that one of the problems with Kobe Harborland is that there are too many large commercial facilities concentrated in one place, so people don't really flow through the area. In this video, I also felt that there wasn't much of a flow of people. Now we've arrived at the waterfront. The waterfront area is made up of buildings from Mitsubishi, and what you see on the left is the Umie Mosaic. It's a bit hard to tell in this video, but on the right are the North Mall and South Mall of Umie. First, I thought I'd introduce Mosaic, but even on a weekday during the day, there are surprisingly a lot of people here. It's the closest commercial facility to the American Park, and unlike a typical shopping center, there are a lot of tourist-oriented tenants, which is why it attracts so many people. Currently, it's an area facing the sea, but when it first opened, I thought Kobe Mosaic was actually a separate commercial facility. The commercial facilities in Harborland as a whole are struggling. So there was a time like that, but even then, only a few tenants left Mosaic, and it's still maintaining its popularity to this day. Despite management issues, Mosaic appeared unaffected. The area was incorporated as a unique seaside location to be preserved for future generations. Now let's move on to the North Mall and South Mall facing the sea. The second floor is connected to Mosaic by a deck, so I'm walking through here. It's nice that you can walk here without worrying about the rain. Looking at the view from the connecting deck is also nice. In the back, there's a tower mansion, an apartment building, and even a sightseeing bus, but it's still stylish and gives off a Kobe-like atmosphere. Filming. Today is a weekday, so it's pretty empty, but on holidays, cars heading to the sea cause big traffic jams, so it's not always like this. Also, there are places with North Mall and South Mall, and even when I visit, my favorite thing is the wide open space that spreads out. Between the open atrium, the South Mall is on the left and the North Mall is on the right. The scale of the building is so big that it's hard to grasp, but that's how it was when it first opened. They were originally separate commercial facilities with the North Mall centered around Daiei. It was a complex commercial facility, and the South Mall in Kobe and Hankyu Jitsuwa were both department stores, but due to poor business performance, they withdrew. After some twists and turns, the operating company changed to Aeon Mall, and it was integrated into the Aeon Group. Kobe's influence led to Mosaic's incorporation into Umie, which was prompted by Hankyu's withdrawal. The operation of Mosaic was also managed by Hankyu, and when Hankyu withdrew from Kobe, Mosaic followed suit and was also withdrawn. At the same time, Mosaic also decided to withdraw, so after Aeon Mall took over the management, North Mall and South Mall were no longer operated with the same care as before. There were fewer tenants, and for better or worse, it became just a large-scale, ordinary commercial facility, typical of Aeon Mall. So, as I said earlier, compared to Mosaic, there are noticeably fewer people, and I wonder if that's because of the difference. The scale of the buildings is different, and while Mosaic had many tenants set up outside, North Mall and South Mall are more about going inside the building to shop. Even considering that, the number of people is completely different. Mosaic doesn't get customers who simply wander in by chance. Despite a significant initial investment, this is the current state of affairs. It's easy to imagine that it was impossible for Osaka Department Store and Daiei to recover their investments. Harborland was established in 1995. After the Great Hanshin-Awaji earthquake, the damage in Sanomiya, which is the center of Kobe, was relatively minor. Because it recovered quickly, it also attracted attention as the new center of Kobe. The recovery of the central area progressed. As a result, the number of visitors gradually decreased. It is also said to have been one of the issues in the post-war reconstruction of Harborland. The nearby American Park also influenced it. Shopping. The place failed to attract customers as it had more tourists than shoppers. Despite people visiting for sightseeing, there weren't many activities for them to engage in. They didn't go shopping. It fell short of commercial facilities and department stores in Osaka and Kobe Hankyu. From the start, Mosaic was known for its many tourist-oriented tenant shops, but there's more to it than that. A large-scale renewal was carried out in 2013. With the opening of the aquarium and the Anpanman Museum, it seems like the area has regained its vitality. Even though there are many large commercial facilities, the issue of not attracting enough people hasn't really been solved. When you go out toward the sea, there are even fewer people. In this footage, you can see the remains of two commercial facilities, Harbor Center and Promena. There is a connecting route from Kobe to the sea, but it's not easy to get there. If you go out toward the sea from Harbor Center and turn left, you can get there right away. Kobe Harborland Center building is one of the commercial facilities in the area, and both a hotel and offices are located there. I'd like to show you the exterior first. The two high-rise buildings are perfectly connected, with one being the office and the other the hotel. The Harbor Center, a commercial building with 2 basement levels and 5 above-ground floors, has a unique curved design likely from the bubble era. As it's getting busy, let's head inside promptly. Now that we've arrived, there's a wide open atrium, so let's take a look downstairs. There's a plaza here, and this is that plaza. It's called the Space Theater, and it's a multi-purpose space that can accommodate up to 400 people. I'm not sure if it's really necessary, but there's also a large monitor that's 265 inches. News and movie advertisements are always being shown on it. This versatile, high-ceilinged space is spacious and easy to use. Being indoors, it's weatherproof and popular, but occupies half of the commercial building. It can't really be used for anything else. I wonder why this place occupies half the commercial facility. To avoid distraction, let's focus on the third floor and above, skipping the first two floors. If you filled the upper floors entirely with tenants, I think it would have been better, but all the buildings planned during the bubble era have this really boxy feel. Personally, I'm not a big fan of these boxy open spaces. There are escalators and elevators across the plaza. It's great. Tenants and a map were near the entrance. The 4th and 5th floors house public facilities of Kobe City with no tenants. I think this harbor center is a relatively small-scale commercial facility, but I was surprised that there aren't many tenants here. On the 3rd floor, Nitori and Daiso are the main tenants, so let's go check out the 3rd floor. There was a spacious rest area with benches. I really like places that make use of vacant tenant spaces like this. But why is it just Daiso and Nitori here? Wouldn't it be nice if a bookstore tenant moved in too? There's an escalator near Daiso. I thought it went up to the 4th floor, but it didn't. Despite a sign indicating access to the 4th floor, I was momentarily confused by the lack of an upward escalator. I ultimately went from the 2nd to the 3rd floor. You can access the 4th floor from the escalator. I'll attempt going up from there. Honestly, there's nothing for me to do here except look at the city's facilities, so I think I'll stop wandering around any further. The 5th floor seems to be in the same situation, so I decided not to go there either. This is the Harbor Center. When it first opened, it was a department store called Kobe Seibu, but it closed down soon after. In fact, among all the Seibu department stores, this one closed the fastest, shutting down in just 4 years. After that, it reopened as Kobe Harbor Circus, but that business also failed and closed down. Despite being renamed Bisquis, it closed down similarly and is now called Familio. After several name changes, it became the current Harbor Center. In 30 years, the explanation has changed 4 times, which makes things even more confusing. Even after looking at the materials, since nothing is clearly written, the real truth is still unknown. However, I think one of the reasons for the unstable revenue might be that the Space Theater takes up half of the floor. Also, Harbor Center has more people on the 2nd floor and basement level, so it seems like the 2nd floor is not really used, probably because you can go straight to the sea from the 1st floor. On the basement level, there are restaurants and other eateries, and you can walk through the underground passage called Duo Kobe to get to Kobe Station. I haven't actually walked that way myself, but in fact Harborland also has a station called Kobe Station nearby. Many tourists who come to visit Kobe by train get off at Sanomiya and walk, or take the train directly to the sea, so that's probably why there are more people on those floors. Not many people use this station as the closest to Harborland. In my impression, the area near Kobe Station isn't very crowded, even though popular spots like Harbor Center by the sea and Promena Kobe are close by. That's all for the introduction of Harbor Center. Next, let's go to Promena Kobe. From the sea, go straight, then turn right at the 2nd floor passage to reach it. Use the underground passage of Harbor Center or access it directly. This time, I'll access it directly. Promena Kobe has 1 basement floor and 8 floors above ground. The entire building is used for commercial facilities. The sea is close by. Despite the presence of Harbor Center, the 18-story commercial building creates an almost over-the-top atmosphere. This place was also originally a commercial facility called the August Plaza. Takashimaya, which operates department stores and Osaka Gas, jointly invested as fans and opened the business in 1992, but with an 18-story commercial building, there weren't many tourists, and the tenants didn't fill up, so it was pretty much empty and desolate. In 2002, the operating company changed, transforming it into the dark and gloomy Kobe of today. The former Harborland was near Hankyu, Nishi Nippon Railway, and Takashima, with an impressive cluster of department stores. Now there's also a Promena Kobe information board, but here are some notices from the Japan Policy Finance Corporation and the Loan Association. They're posted at the entrance. I wonder why. There's also a tenant map. The first basement floor features a food court called Harbor Kitchen. Most of this commercial facility is occupied from the 7th to the 16th floor. For many years, the upper floors were empty, but in 2010, a club called Manyo Club opened there. A hot spring facility has moved in, but on the other hand, the lower floors are still not functioning as commercial facilities, so let's take a look inside for a moment. There's a burger kitchen at the entrance. It's not that big in scale, it's a food court, but during the daytime on weekdays, there are relatively few people. That's what I thought. Based on the footage, you can likely see that the floor area on one side is quite narrow. There are signs that say, "Don't be too noisy, don't run around, and keep things calm," and a poster about Promena Kobe's rules. This is just a comment. Let's head up to the second floor. The first floor is nearly vacant, with just a couple of tenants in one section, so it's primarily used for passage. There was also a direct elevator to the Momiji Club. If the Momiji Club in Promena Kobe is no longer open, I wonder what they're doing now. Honestly, I'm a bit worried and don't even want to think about it. This time, I couldn't go because of my schedule, but since you can get a great view of Kobe's scenery, I'd like to go there someday. I then visited the second floor, but surprisingly, around a quarter of it was unoccupied and just an empty tenant space. The second floor lacked direct access to the sea, limiting my ability to explore. The Promena Kobe homepage was recruiting tenants when I made this video, but it appears the property will remain vacant for some time. I'm not completely sure, but on the second floor there is an elevator that goes up to the top floor and to the Kikonji temple. An info sign in katakana reading Kikonji elevator was near the stairs. There was an empty space next to it. Using the tenant directory, I found an information corner for Kikonji Temple. It's uncommon to witness such a stunning view, even at local malls. This rare sight touches my heart. It's essentially a commercial facility housing regular shops. The first and second floors remain unchanged, but the third floor has been transformed into a medical mall. The renovations were extensive, so there wasn't anything particularly noteworthy to photograph, but the mall was quite busy with visitors. The renovated fourth floor seems to house beauty-related tenants. However, upon going up the escalator, many vacant tenants become apparent. I think it's pretty common for facilities with weak customer attraction in certain areas to gather beauty-related tenants together as a strategy. It's sad that the vacant spaces in Promena Kobe still haven't been filled despite its smaller floor area. There was a strange recycle shop with a misunderstanding. The 6th floor, banquet hall, club, and Kichiji temple in the basement are closed. The 17th floor, previously rented, is now locked and vacant. Almost all of them are offices as tenants. They're recruiting, or at least it looks that way. Rather than gathering the wrong kind of shops, it seems like they're trying to attract better ones. This area mainly consists of commercial facilities sustained by its proximity to the sea and the presence of a harbor center. I thought it wouldn't be easy to keep going in this situation, especially during the Ogasuta Plaza era. It appears that Takashimaya-related tenants were once prevalent here, but now there are few places where you can sense any remnant of that, which is somewhat disappointing. It seemed that way, and honestly, I felt firsthand that the Harborland, which was originally run by a group of companies, is now in a situation where it's not exactly thriving on its own. There just aren't many people around, and I really felt that was a problem. The Harbor Center has a large open space, and Promena Kobe has the Manyo Club, but neither of them really draws people toward the sea. They each have their own unique charm as well. It's great to see if Kobe will keep developing its unique charm and compete with the sea, or simply enjoy itself as is. Even just strolling around Kobe is enjoyable due to its laid-back vibe, so I hope the entire area remains vibrant and fun. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. If you feel like leaving a comment or giving a high rating, I'd appreciate it. See you in the next video.